Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to our April update of my 5-pan rolling style project pan. I really am surprised by today's update, and that is I have been expecting an empty on one of these products for the last 2 months. And I still haven't hit it. It is crazy and I'm a little bit disappointed, to be fair. But all that to say, progress is still really good and I still think this is gonna be a good update, and I will definitely have an empty for you next month. There is like no way that I cannot hit an empty next month. And it's so funny because I feel like I've said that the past couple months, but it would actually be like impossible, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's part of the fun of panning, is sometimes progress surprises you, and that goes both ways, in that sometimes you make way more progress than you think you made, and sometimes you make way less progress than you think you're gonna make. And that's okay. There's no real science to this as far as like I've come across over the past several years of panning. At the end of the day, it's all in good fun. It's just a little bit disappointing when I had in my mind that I was absolutely gonna be able to roll something new into this project. And now I'm not obviously gonna be able to do that, but I will roll something new in next month, I promise you that. And like I said, we're still making really good progress across all the products, so I'm excited about that. But before we get in, how are you all doing? Leave me a comment below. I have an exciting update. So you all have probably either heard me talk about it in my long form videos about how I've been running, or have seen it maybe here and there in some of my shorts, which I need to get back into filming. Update is last year I ran a half marathon, and this year I just signed up to run a marathon in October, which I can't believe it that I'm going to do that. It's one of those things where it just was never honestly a goal or a dream of mine. I had run a half back in 2019, and then I ran a half last year, and that was kind of always like, that's cool, like that's something that I want to do, but like never had any expectation that I would be able to run a full marathon. But I have somehow got influenced by all the runner girlies on Instagram and TikTok and convinced myself that it is possible. And so I signed up, and now I'm like starting to like train. I ran almost 10 miles this past weekend on one of my runs, so I'm feeling like already my cardio and strength is way beyond where I was last year at this time, training for my half, which obviously is good because I'm gonna be running double the distance. So I'm excited about that. I'm feeling optimistic. We will see how the next 6 months or so goes. But yeah, let me know if any of you guys do any running or any sort of like workout competitions. Would love to hear about that in the comments below. Let's go ahead and start with the one that I was expecting to have an empty on. So this is my Tartsy Hydro-Flex Serum Foundation. I was honestly shook when I used this 22 times this month, and I still have not hit an empty on it. Now, there were times where this product was laying down and I went to use it and I barely got anything out. And in my rush, like I didn't have time to like worry about that, so I just used another product. So I would say those 22 uses maybe weren't like full uses, but I went to use it this morning and I didn't need to mix it with any other products. Enough came out for a full face. So I think it's probably going to be on its last legs of actually me being able to squeeze it out onto my face. But then I'm probably gonna cut it open and try and clean out the rest of it, because I do want to like a true empty on this. But we have to be so close. I thought that we were so close 22 uses ago, and obviously we were, but not to where we are now. We're gonna be leaving for our trip in about 2 weeks, so I'm hoping that this will be done, because I feel like traveling with this, if it's like cut open, would not work. So that is my goal, to get this done before the halfway point of the month. And if you are surprised, then you're not alone, but this will be empty next month. That's what I probably said last month, but I promise you, it has to be. Next is my Benetton. So I used this 22 times, and I'm really excited about this one and the progress that we've made here. I think we're about halfway done this product, and yeah, I'm excited to say that I think probably by like the midpoint or maybe a little bit after of this year, we'll have this product done. And I continue to love this one. I think I've talked about it in many of a different video, but I just find this to be such a nice product. I think it's so easy to apply. I just do 3 dots on my cheeks. It gives a really nice flush that I feel like lasts all day. I can also wear it on my lips as like a nice little hint of color, which dries down to be more of like a stain on my lips, which I like. I just think all in all, this product is really nice. And even after using it very consistently over the last 3 or so months, I still have been very much enjoying it. It's still a top favorite. So I think that speaks volumes, because sometimes when I'm panning something, I get sick of it. And so for me to still say like, this is something that I look forward to using, I think that means a lot, and I have really continued to love this one. Next is my Urban Decay highlighter in the shade Sin, and I use this one 22 times, and I use it as both a highlight on the high points of my cheeks as well as an inner corner highlight. And for the inner corner, I've been just taking my ring finger and rubbing it along the outside of the pan to hopefully increase the size of the pan, and then obviously putting it in my inner corner of my eyes. And then when I actually put on the highlight itself, I run my brush around like the whole product, not just focusing on the pan. And so I think hopefully that's helping us use more of the product itself, but this one is definitely not going to be a fast mover, but I am happy that I just continue to make progress on this, and I am happy with 22 uses. I think that's a good amount of uses. I'm hoping that progress will pick up a little bit once we get into summer, because I'll be wearing it on like my collarbones right here and my shoulders when I'm in any sort of like tank tops, and that won't be an everyday type of thing. That'll probably be more on the weekends and stuff, but I do think that'll be another, just an additional way to get a little bit more usage on this one. Next is my Fenty gloss. So I only use this one 22 times. I was hoping for a little bit more usage on this one. Ideally, I'd like to hit 30 or even 40 uses a month, but I am not quite there. I'm actually probably only halfway there. I think if I was doing that, I would finish this one up obviously a lot faster, but I think we're probably about halfway on this product too, where it's settling. It's settling on the E in cream right here. So I am happy that both of these products are probably close to the halfway point, and we're continuing to move through them. I just think I could do a little bit better on something like this, because it is a product that I can reapply on a regular basis. I think it's a little bit harder to use products like this more than that, because there is not really an opportunity to reapply. Maybe this on my lips, but like I'm not reapplying foundation throughout the day. But gloss is something that I can reapply, and I do, like I mentioned, this is in my work bag. I take to work and I do reapply it throughout the day, but probably not as much as I could or should be doing. And then certainly when I'm not in the office, I could do a better job of wearing this around my house, or just in general, just picking this up and putting this on instead of maybe a chapstick like this. And it's just one of those things where I just need to continually to remind myself to go for this versus something else. And so it's just gonna be continuing to practice that. I'm not mad at the 22 uses, of course, I'm happy with that, but I think that I can do better. And so I'm gonna continue to try and push that a little bit higher each month. And then my last update is my Clinique lipstick in the shade Black Honey. I wore this one 11 times, which I am quite happy with, because I have other lipsticks like what I'm wearing today that are in my Shop My Stash project pan, and I also wanna make sure I'm getting uses on those. And so I can't devote all my uses to this one. That being said, same as the lip gloss, I think I have more of an opportunity when I am wearing this to reapply. So if I'm wearing this on a night out, just making sure that I'm getting 2 or 3 wears on this instead of just one when I apply it when I leave the house. And that's kind of how I feel about this lip gloss. It's like if I'm wearing this lip gloss throughout the day, just trying to get 2 or 3 uses instead of just one. I have been thoroughly enjoying this lipstick. I think it is so pretty, and it's so versatile for me, because I can just do a light amount of it on my lips, or I can really layer it up, and it does give a pretty different look depending on what I do. This is the current amount that's left in here, so continuing to make progress. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like compared to last month. I just want to talk quickly about kind of like my goals for April and when it comes to panning these products. First goal, I want to hit empty on this one. I think that is like very clearly the most important goal. I want to actually cut this open and get all of the product out of here. Since I have an extra month to work on it, I'm not just gonna go until I can't squeeze anything out. I'm gonna totally clear this one out, and I want to do that before we leave for our vacation. The second goal is to use products like this lip gloss and my lipstick more than once when I'm wearing them. So it's not just apply and that's it. If I'm doing something and I have these in my purse or wherever it may be, to make sure I'm reapplying them throughout that time period that I'm out, or the day, depending on how I'm wearing these. I think that's really key too. And then I would say for these 2 products is kind of just keep doing what I'm doing, but if I'm wearing a tank top or something where I could put this highlight on my shoulders or my collarbone, to make sure that I'm doing that. So that is all my goals for my products. I think all in all, I am happy with the progress that I've made across these. I would like to be seeing some more empties sooner rather than later because I have a lot of other products that I need to be rolling into this project that I need to be making progress on. So we will definitely get there. I think that the usage numbers for the most part were pretty good. It's just actually seeing that progress come to fruition with empties, which I hopefully can deliver to myself and all of you next month, at least one. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.